And listen, it's not without some people being mad at me. Um, you know, because some of these fight fans, they go out there on the internet and they're saying, "How dare you, Teddy? You're leaving us. This is your sport. You forgot?" No, I didn't forget. I didn't forget at all, you guys. I know where I come from. I always know where I come from. But that doesn't mean I can't appreciate some something else, and be able to applaud those kind of special people too, as well as my people in the boxing game. But even more so, when this terrible pandemic struck, it changed the world and it changed sports. And when the first ones to come back was UFC, and when they came back, they put good fights on. I got a secret for you. So the boxing fans won't hear me say this. I'll make sure they now listen. They put real competitive fights on. And that's the formula Dana White has. And listen, I get it. It's what I've been asking for 45 years in boxing, a national commission, a czar. We don't have that. You kind of have that. You have one guy who says, "Hey, I'm going to do what's best for the sport." In my sport, you don't have that. You got a bunch of promoters that are money hungry. That's not a knock. We all want to make money. But you got a bunch of promoters who are just looking out for their piece of property, only for their own promotional company and for their fighters. They don't care beyond that, how it affects the fans, how it affects, unless of course it comes to a point of, the financial point. But for the most part, they don't care how it affects the sport overall. Just they're part of the industry. And so therefore, you'll see a lot of these, when boxing finally came back, what did you see? Let's be honest. You saw sparring sessions. You saw A's and B's. The A's going to win all the time. Who wants to go to that movie? I don't. I don't want to go to a movie that I know the ending. And that's what they were putting on. You go to a UFC movie, you don't know the ending. You don't know who's going to win. There's upsets. And there's the best fighting the best. And it doesn't matter what their records are. Oh, my God. In boxing, if you got a couple losses, it's like the old days when they used to say when a cop got in trouble, they sent him to an outpost in Siberia. You never see him anymore. He's walking a post in Siberia. I mean, that's the way it is with boxing, and it's been that way for years. Like, you got to protect the record, and it don't care about whether the guy develops or gets better or fights good fights or the fans get to see crappy fights. It don't matter. As long as you're building that record up, the networks love it. And that's what they're selling.
Halloween treat in store, Usyk Chisora. I mean, if ever a fight promotion suited Halloween, it's those two. Usyk is a proper villain, and Chisora, I mean, Delboy, you just don't know what you're going to get. I think we're all a little bit relieved, though, that finally it's done and we can stop sort of talking about the what-ifs. Actually, it's a good fight. We'll know where Usyk is at heavyweight, and if he's having an off night, Chisora will exploit that. And if Usyk is as good as everybody says he is, he might make Chisora look pretty basic. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought you summed it up pretty good there, Andy. I mean, the thing is with Usyk, he's only had that one fight at heavyweight. Looked okay, didn't look $1 million against Chaz Witherspoon, but it was his first one. He was still growing into the weight. He put a lot of weight on, and he's a big guy, but he's an agile guy, so he doesn't want to get too big. It takes away from his movement. But I think Chisora will tell us how serious Usyk is going to be in the heavyweight division, because let's be honest, Chisora, nobody has had an easy night with Derek Chisora. I mean, David Haye, I know, got him out of there in the end, but it was like just as well he did, because the pace that Chisora was sticking on him, and that's a good few years back when Haye was still going really well. I mean, even the two fights with Dillian Whyte, I mean, it was life and death both times. First one was could have gone either way really, and the second one I think he came from behind on the cards, Dillian. So Chisora, he's a big, strong, determined, very well conditioned heavyweight. So, Usyk, we know he's top draw, skill wise, movement, everything like that. But this will tell us a little bit about Usyk's capabilities as a heavyweight.
Do you think, just stripping it back a bit further, do you think that he's going to be a real problem at heavyweight, Usyk?
Listen, yeah, I think so. I do think he'll be a little bit too smart, a bit too nimble, too agile. His movement, I think he'll stay a step ahead of Chisora all night long, and I think he can do it for the 12 rounds. He's used to navigating his way through 12 rounds. He's very well conditioned. He's a great athlete as well as boxer, and I just think he'll know a little bit too much for Chisora, and he'll find a way to just outmaneuver him, outthink him, be too smart for him. But Chisora will make him work every second of the 12 rounds, so it'll be an interesting fight. It'll be exciting as well because there is that threat of Chisora, but I think Usyk will just be a little bit too good for him.
What do you make of the quick turnaround, and B, what does Dillian need to change, if anything, this time around?
I think he needs a bit of wisdom in that corner in regards to, because he did everything right, prepared right, executed right. He just maybe was a little fast off the mark in regards to closing that gap to jumping on Usyk, and therefore he gave Usyk a chance to get up close and do what he does best. So that's where the patience and the wisdom in the corner for somebody to say, right, steady yourself down, take your time yet, or jump on him now, or beat him up long. It's about tactics. And so training wise, I don't think he'll change anything because he was doing an excellent job up to the stoppage. And in regards to the turnaround, again, many people, they keep harping on about this, it's too soon to jump back in again. They said that about Anthony Joshua. And look what happened. If you're mentally strong enough and mentally sound and confident enough within yourself, and you really believe that you can right a wrong, which is a serious wrong, there's nothing wrong with jumping straight back in again. And God, I'm not a neurologist, so I can't tell you what the effect on the brain would be and how long you've got to be careful with those things. But any heavyweight that hits you in the head is going to hurt. But I do think it's not an issue if you're mentally strong and you've got mental belief. I think those mental scars won't make that much of a difference. And I think Anthony Joshua proved that. I'm quite sure if we go back in the history books, we'll get even more proof of that. So I think it's the people that are probably not as confident, or the naysayers are. They're the worriers. But I totally get it. And I don't have a problem with it at all.
You talked about more experience in the corner. Would you like to see the team add an extra voice in there, or is it more that they'll benefit from the experience of the first fight and they'll be more seasoned themselves for the second one?
Yeah, of course they'll benefit from the experience of the first fight. But again, I'm not saying dissect or explode your camp. What I'm saying is add some wisdom to your camp. Add a voice of reason, of experience, that somebody gets that knows you. Now, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, I don't know what happened between Dillian and Mark Tibbs. I don't know. So if it's a personal thing, that's not my business. I understand that. I do think that if Mark was there, Mark would have known to steady the reins a bit, keep him long. Not yet, Dill, not yet. Because he knew the nature of the beast. And that was it through his experience. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong, but that's what I see from the outside looking in. This is what he needs. He needs somebody that has that old head on them to know when to jump, when to attack, when to be patient, when to pick, when to pop, when to beat someone up long. That's the difference between average and outstanding.